Do you ever wonder how to love or like love yourself? What is love in like an actionable sense? And so the idea here is I like breaking love into four parts. And so there's these components of it. One is acceptance. Another is compassion. Another is forgiveness, and the last one's appreciation. And so let's kind of break these down. So the idea here is acceptance is like accepting things as they are. It's like not adding story to things. It's like noticing the objective way that it is. And one way they can do that is by being present, just observing the present moment and noticing things as they are instead of adding the story to it. So, conscious breathing, being present. As we're present with the information, that the experience that's occurring, acknowledging it as it is, that's in a sense acceptance. So then another one is compassion. And compassion is kind of acknowledging that everybody's having a human experience. And though while we all have different experiences, there's similarities that come with being a human. And some of those similarities include the emotional experience that we have. So everyone goes through the full emotional palette at some point during their life. And even if you're, traumatized or whatever in a certain way, you have less access to some of those feelings, you still experience them in some way. And generally speaking, by the time we get to our deathbed, we get to experience whatever, we get to process and get through all that anyway. So the idea there is that everybody's having human experiences, and so we can have compassion for them. And I personally believe that everyone's doing the best they can with the resources and abilities they have and awarenesses. And if they could do better, they would. And so, that's one of the ways to have compassion. So then another layer for it is forgiveness. And forgiveness is essentially, it's in a sense, I'll tell this story about it. So I had this nephew, and he was like 4 at the time. And I asked him, like, what does it mean to forgive? And he said, it's to not think about it anymore. I was like, whoa, there's some sage wisdom from the youth here. And it's a bit like that, right? But it's not like, I forgive you and you say it and I'm going to forgive but not forget. It's not that kind of stuff. It's not the words, right? It's the energy behind it. It's feeling better. So you don't bring it up anymore. It's taking your mind off that subject so you don't get triggered by that subject anymore. Or really it's processing those feelings so those feelings are transmuted, so there's a neutrality to it, so we have the wisdom of the memory, and so then we can honestly, authentically, genuinely have forgiveness for the other. And so then appreciation is the fourth one, and appreciation is a bit like pure positive perspective. So it's having that pure positive perspective for whatever we're appreciating, that person, the self, the other. And so then when we put all these together, we have acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, and appreciation. And these are essentially four actionable ways to express love. And so part of this is when we express out toward ourselves, we do self-love, self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-forgiveness, self-appreciation. And the more we practice with the self, the more it naturally extends into a skill that we practice and participate with others. And that's when we now are loving, accepting, compassionate, forgiving, appreciating. And so the more we practice this with ourselves, the more it extends into others. So, if you found this helpful, follow for more, leave a comment about what was helpful about it. Maybe just the idea altogether. Maybe there's a time in your life you applied it. Maybe you noticed when you use it when you apply it to yourself, it extends out to others. Share the video with someone else who would find it helpful. My name is Kent Petersen, and thanks for watching.